I'm just very, very extremely concerned that we have asked the applicant to negotiate design elements that are virtually impossible to achieve. I have a lot of concerns about requiring that the homes that have been identified as historic resources, as placing a requirement of the school to keep those homes basically precludes any future modification to their own property, which will allow them to keep up with changing times and with the changing needs of the school. And that puts too much of a burden on the school's ability to function and to thrive and to remain viable in future years. That doesn't reduce the significance of the home if they are indeed significant. We have to be mindful as a body that we're serving as a quasi-judicial body. We're sitting as judges weighing whether this applicant has met the intent of the community plan, and that's our responsibility to step outside of our own inclination to want to support one side or another, and really look at the facts. Let's look at what the applicant has been asked to do. Let's look to see if the applicant has met the intent of the community plan. That's the whole purpose for creating zoning laws and community plans in a way that doesn't specifically zone one piece of property. We do it, create standard zoning that everybody must follow, and it's applied to each property when it comes for approval of a permit, so that makes sure that we don't apply any additional requirements to one application simply because of who they are or what they do. So we have to remain objective on this and really look at the application. Any other applicant, will we give them the opportunity to relocate homes within the plan? We should, because that meets the intent of the community plan to preserve historic resources. If they're relocated within the community plan, there's no net loss of a historic resource. We have seen hundreds of projects where that has been allowed and that has happened. We have located historic resources in different parts of community plans in different parts of the city. And we do that that we also, whenever that's done, we also add some education to the community about the historicity of that home and why it was relocated, and that can be done as part of the process. But to say we're not going to relocate the homes is obviously what the opposition is trying to achieve, to prevent any future modification or improvement on the school. And I see that as just a strategy to prevent that issue, and I think that's going to put too much of a burden on this school. Applying residential standards to an institutional use is absolutely not fair. When have we seen a school or a modern school that serves a population of 700 kids, when have we seen that appear to be a house or to be the size of a residential unit? I think they've done everything with their ability to apply architectural qualities to this building that make it fit into the neighborhood. But to prevent it from being a large structure, it just cannot happen. It will not happen. It puts too much burden on the applicant's ability to operate a viable institution. We have ignored the substantial revisions that the applicants made to meet the needs of the community, to exceed the requirement of the community plan to fit in with the neighborhood character. But the expectation that you build a school that accommodates all the needs of the community and that it not take up a certain footprint is absolutely impossible to achieve. I mean, it reminds me of those cartoons, the Looney Tunes, where they fold a house into a suitcase or a car into a suitcase and walk away. I mean, it works on TV, but we just can't achieve that. In reality, how do we build a classroom that meets the needs of students, but that doesn't take up space? It just cannot be achieved. And I think we're we're setting ourselves up to fail on this one. We're very familiar on federal laws that protect religious institutions' ability to remain viable. Our city, this is not the, we have lost lawsuits on that, and if it is the desire of this council to have the court resolve this, we've seen that the court has resolved it in the past, and it ends up costing our city money, and I don't think we should be paying for the court costs to resolve something in court that we could resolve here as a council body. So I'm very, very sad not to be able to support this motion. I support the council member from District 3 very, very much, and I support the effort that you've put into this. But I think we've heard testimony from the public that's going to be used in court where they say that it's about the size of the building, about having a big building across the street from your house. How would you like to have this big behemoth building across the street from the house? That's what the real issue is. It's not the historicity of the homes. It's the size of the development. And I go back to putting a burden on this school that we don't put on any other school. The schools in my community, they're bulky, they're big. The schools in every community in San Diego are bulky and big. You just cannot build a school that's not bulky and big, that doesn't have playground equipment and space and parking. It just cannot be done. And we're asking this applicant to do it. And I just think, unfortunately, we're at this position where I think we should really look at the community plan and support the guidelines that have been placed before us by the community plan. And that's the law and the standard that we should be following.